Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. Happy Saturday, everybody. This is Mike. Today I got an update from Liketoys. They shared with me some pictures. I think those are really on their page right now. But also some exclusive video they're going to probably release in the next few days also of a transformation and a couple of different things going on. So we're going to talk about this and I'm going to show you what I've got. Coming up. Starting off with some of the most recent pictures. Now these are actually on their page too if you want to go check them out. And this is kind of showing some of the transformation kind of stuff that goes along with it. And some of this stuff is built in and the head's kind of pushed down with the gun up. But interesting pictures as this develops and as they're doing more with it, they share more and more pictures. And I'm really excited. I, for one, am very excited about this project. And this is a city bot. We call it Davis. Look forward to it. Here's a shot of the back and it looks pretty good. This thing just looks amazing. So very G1-esque and, well, actually matches the tune relatively well. I do like everything about this, the design and how it's coming together. It's a big, big boy and of course around 4 foot tall, just really awesome. And it's going to have a full-on production run, but this is 3D printed, so you'll see some print lines on this. So one of the pictures showed here is the articulation, kind of how much awesome articulation this thing's gonna have. It's big, they're throwing everything in it, and it's just kind of my belief that it's what they think they can do, they're gonna do. They're gonna do anything they can think of putting into this project here, and they're going big. They did great work on some of their other kits that they did for the combiners, all that kind of stuff. Just really shows a great style to it. But this has LEDs and all that. So the new picture is kind of showing the same picture, but with LEDs and dark light. So really, that's kind of cool too. Now, some people aren't a fan of the LEDs, but if you turn this into a city, in city mode, this thing lit up in a dark room would look awesome. So I really think the LEDs are a nice touch, especially since in city mode, it's going to look like these are little lights that are a part of a building or something like that. So that's pretty cool too. So we're going to get on to the first video here where they're showing that this is kind of a compartment that opens up and this folds out, which is, I think this is a little bit different than how it was. There's an LED, kind of how it goes on, and it's good remote controlled and all that kind of stuff. And that folds around. But I think that the original one just has that one piece that folds out. So this is different than kind of an original. So it's an upgraded, modernized take on the original, but kind of cool. So with that first video, what you see right here is kind of how things fold out. And if you zoom in a bit on this city mode, then you can kind of see how that little platform, the helipad, is a two-part helipad right there, and how the part comes out, and then like there's an extra compartment that's in there, which, as big as this is going to be, you could probably fit a car in there, something like that, at least a mini-bot vehicle mode in there, but that would be pretty cool too. So just so much thought and effort going into this, and now kind of identifying with these videos what they're doing with it. So this is the assembly video. So there it is in the parts. So this is kind of how it would come, and they're still kind of deciding how many boxes it will come in. Of course, all of that has to do with logistics and all that kind of stuff. But as you can see, you're going to have part of the upper thigh already connected to the main body, and then screw in these screws. Now, when it comes to you in pieces, this is what you're going to have to do. This is what we're going to have to do ourselves, because obviously you can't ship this big guy in one box. So it's kind of interesting in my mind, like, how do they plan to ship this thing out? And they've, of course, put thought in it. Look at the wheels on it. The wheels, there's tiny little casters on there, and I think they did source those. I don't think they made them themselves. They are metal. There's a metal part of the caster, and then probably a rubber wheel or something along those lines. All right, now he's putting this on here, and then he's screwing it in. And I do want to point out they did say that it's metal joints on this. So, and then they did source those separately. They didn't make the joints themselves. I think they did probably modify the next one we're going to look at though. But those are made of metal, so that the last thing you'll have to worry about is if joint's not going to hold. But I'm curious how they would find a joint that matches this. Pretty cool all around. I do like that. Just looks great. Now, I did have a question about this. Now, these clip in, but there's also the ability to transform them away. So you have to clip them in when you assemble it, and then during the transformation, you can transform them away, or you could pop them on and pop them off. Either way, they try to kind of avoid as much parts forming as possible, because I know the community is split on that, but this is such a great project, and I've just kind of been excited for it since day one. Since I first saw some parts and pieces, and then the building of this thing, and we've kind of been looking at this for, I don't know, 6-8 months, something along those lines, and just watching this thing get made and every step of the way, and it'd be awesome to get to own this pretty soon. Now, just kind of running back through all of the information we know about this, it is going to be priced around or under $1,000, and I'm thinking that includes shipping. So that's a big question out there. Like, okay, it's $1,000, but it's going to cost $200 to ship it. They are going to ship this to the U.S. and from the U.S. from a warehouse in the U.S. So that's going to be the way they do the first shipment. Now, past that, I think there's going to be more plans to get this internationally. But obviously, it's going to save them to just get it all delivered at once to a U.S. warehouse and then shipped out per order from that U.S. warehouse to U.S., Canada. And then, of course, if you're willing to pay from the U.S. to wherever else, I'm sure they're willing to do that. And then after that, there's going to be reviews out there, so people are going to know this is legit. They're not going to be like worried about, oh, is this just a fly-by-night, one-and-done kind of deal? When people get their hands on it and reviews, and they've already put thousands, tens of thousands into a mold, obviously they're going to make more and more and more of them. But this is a big boy. It's supposed to match the Fans Toys. So the goal is, if you put this one and Fans Toys side by side, they're about the same height, and they look similar in design too, by the way, so they would look similar in design. I actually think this looks a little bit better than the Fans Toys, but I also like Metroplex a little bit more than Fortress Maximus. That's just me. You're going to be able to do all 3 modes with this one also. So, I mean, still, I'm really excited about it. I know I've kind of gone over a lot of this stuff before, but this kind of project on this scale has really never been done before at a retail level and a full production. So it's taking a little bit of time. They want to make sure everything's right before, obviously, they invest a lot of money into the mold. And then past that, they don't want to disappoint on people spending $1,000 on this thing. They want it to be great. They want everybody to be happy and satisfied with it. And of course, to make this dream a reality is just outstanding. But I really do think that this base mode, this leaves a lot of opportunities out there for displays, because you could build your display around it, whether it be Masterpiece or Legends or Mainline or whatever. And I kind of can see a lot of people using it in the base mode. And watching them manipulate this and move this around and transforming the functions, a lot of people were curious about the Fans Toys one, and will it take 2 people to transform it because it's so big, and the ratchets and this kind of stuff. And when you see this, it does look pretty smooth and easy for one person to do. Just take your time and just smooth and flowing. But also the fact that it is a simplistic design in the first place, but they're adding some more sophisticated elements to it, but still overall, it's still relatively simplistic versus some of the things we've seen these days, but it still looks great. So I hope you guys enjoyed me sharing the assembly video with you. I'm looking forward to more video and information about this project. Still no order date or production date or ship date or any of that stuff yet. It's still a little bit early on, and of course this stuff does take a bit of time, especially when you're going into uncharted territory, making something nobody's done before. Maybe Fans Toys will call Liketoys and ask them how'd you do it in the future. But let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.